Alright, hi. So I guess I started my last video and didn't realize that it wasn't even starting. So I'm redoing it. So basically this is a 20 question and answer, basically question and answer session, live video, basically about what I do, why I do it, all of that. So the first answer is basically, well, what I do. Well, I do it because I like to help people start with organization, decluttering their house, basically making space in their homes or in their business for, whatever. Because I, for one, like to know that I have extra space if it's needed and everything. I don't like to feel the chaos of clutter or not having any space to basically do what I want to do. I hate, basically not having any space or feeling like I don't have space, even if I know I do. So I basically made it a priority to make sure that I know where that space is. If I think I have space somewhere and I need to, find it, basically, I'll rearrange stuff around to basically find that space. And that's just basically what I want to help people do. Because let's face it, when we accumulate a lot of stuff and everything, we don't always, one, know what we have to be able to keep it organized and all of that. And two, we don't always know how much space we have, so we just keep accumulating and accumulating and accumulating and accumulating. And I, for one, I hate that. So I try not to accumulate. But, I get it. Let's see. I also do make websites, blogs, pages, stuff like that. I just like to make things be efficient, timely, and just different things that'll work for myself to help keep my house organized and less chaotic. And I like to do that for other people, just so that they don't have the stress of that, don't have the chaos of it, so that they can enjoy basically where they're at. Yeah. So the second question is basically why I do what I do. Again, it's basically because it makes me happy. I like to help others benefit from it. I like, showing that everything can be clean and organized. Alright, nice. So when did I start this and how long have I been doing it? Well, I've been doing it for about 10 years or more, basically since I was little. My house is basically one of the cleanest, or my room was one of the cleanest places when I was little, once I started this, like growing up and everything. Just because I'd rather have it clean and organized than messy and decluttered, or messy and cluttered and chaotic. Just because I needed something that was organized, something that made me happy, and in my eyes, my room was my space, and so that's what I chose to do, is basically make it clean and organized and something that would work for me no matter how big or small the space I was in. And I would constantly change things, bring it together, make sure that it looked, in my eyes, elegant and comfy and something that I could just enjoy and all of that. So is my house always clean and organized? No. Why is it not always clean and organized? Because I have 2 young kids. I'm a busy mom. I also work full time. I have a husband. Like, I do my best with my schedule and everything, and I do what I can to work around my schedule to make sure that I devote a little bit of time to be able to keep my house, organized and clean the way I want it. But no, it's not always constantly clean and organized the way I want it. But yeah, so I just go through, tweak it, do what I need to for me. Like I said, I'm busy, so I'm not always home, but which most of us these days, we're busy anyway, so we're not always home. And if we are home, we're still busy at home, so we don't always just, get to it or have the time to get to it, which, I get. But again, why I want to help people be able to make it so that they do have the time to make sure that their house, even if it's, depending on whatever priorities you have throughout the day, that you can just, feel comfy in your house and not have it be a constant stress or chaos just because, it's messy or it's disorganized, or there's all these things that you want to get to but you can't because you feel like you have to, clean your house or organize your house or whatever. And I get it. Honestly, I do. But because that's no fun. But which is also why I do what I do. And I like to share these tips and everything like that. But also at the same time, I want to share the experience that I do and just basically help you to be, more comfortable and everything. Like, that's why I do it. That's why I do it for myself in my home. That's what I teach my kids. So yeah. All right, question 5. Basically, where do I get my ideas? Well, I get them from magazines, articles, events that I attend, basically making those ideas my own. And here's a few magazines. So just like the old IKEA ones, some different magazines that I buy, like HPT Research, whatever I'm basically looking for at the moment, any decorating magazines, any of that. Okay. I also use color, is where I get my ideas. Basically, if I see a need or whatever, I find a way to use what I have. Like I've stated before in previous videos and on my website and blog, nothing comes in my house unless it has another purpose, because I don't like things only having one purpose and then me not being able to use it when I'm done with that one purpose. So I find ways to keep using it just because, well, I don't like to waste like anything. Okay, how often do I implement a new idea? Basically every week. Basically whenever I need to, sometimes daily, but basically every week. What spaces do I have ideas for? So the main ones is like living rooms, kitchens, bathrooms, bedrooms, closets, storage, pantries, etc. The other not main ones is like dressers, shelves, containers, drawers, hideaways, lofts, outside and inside areas. Just little things you wouldn't really think of. Those would be like the sub ones. Okay, next question. How much do I charge? So for my services, for what I provide, I charge anywhere from $50 to $250 per room or per project. Now what I say is per room, it depends on what needs to be done. So as far as like if I'm like cleaning it on top of organization, it'll be in the higher end. And it also depends on the big of the space, how big of the room is, how big of the space is. If it's like marketing websites, PowerPoints, blogs, anything that you like basically want created as far as that goes, it's anywhere from $50 to $150, and that's just because it depends on the research. So like if I'm doing the research, or if you're giving me all the information with the research, when you need it by, how many sites, etc., how many, retries you want if you don't like it the first time, that kind of a thing, that's why it's that really just depends. What all does it entail is the next question. So basically, with organizing and cleaning a room, it entails basically me coming to either your home or your business, seeing the space or the project that you want done. If it's just the organization part of it, then I do that. If it's the cleaning, whether it's deep cleaning, like vacuum mop, etc., like the whole 9 yards, or regular just like light cleaning, like dusting or washing. And then organizing, if it's just knowing what colors to implement, if you want a theme, if it's tips, anything like that. It basically is just like a whole experience of me coming in, helping you like basically make your home more organized in the way that you picture it, but can't necessarily bring it out. That's what I do. Does it have to be themed? No. It makes it fun, but it doesn't have to be themed. The great thing about organization is you can always change it later, and trust me, I change my organization constantly. Okay. How often do I switch up organization? Well, whenever it no longer works for me, or when I get an idea to make it better. Or also basically daily, mostly weekly, almost every other week basically. How often do I update my blog and website? I update it daily, weekly. Whenever a new project is complete, basically, is when I update my website and blog. How often does it take me to clean and organize? Well, my house, like, normally it depends on the space. My house, because I've been doing it for so long, and I've had to tweak my schedule and everything, and I know how much time I can devote to each thing, and I have a certain schedule of what I'm going to upkeep on and what I doesn't, or what I'm not. It takes me about 15 to 20 minutes. If it's a bigger project or hasn't been upkept, it takes me 2 to 3 hours or longer. Like I said, once again, depends on the space, depends on how much I'm actually, going to be doing, if I've upkept on it or not, that kind of a thing. So it really just depends. It just depends on how elaborate I want to make it, or not elaborate, elegant, kind of a thing, whatever. So, and if my kids will be cooperative, it depends on that too, because my kids are not always cooperative. All right, question number 14. basically, what do I have tips for? Do I have tips for upkeeping and scheduling? My answer is yes, I do have tips for upkeeping and scheduling, but it does depend on the person, what that person's schedule is, basically where their priorities lie and how much they want to do the upkeep, like what they need, to be able, basically what they want to be able to let slide for a little bit and then go back to. That's not going to take them very long to go back and fix later on. Does my house ever get out of control? Yes. For my standards, yes, it does get out of control sometimes. Just not really with not being like kept clean, but really just with the clutter. It gets out of control with the clutter a lot, just because I'll get like mail or something and put it somewhere, and then I won't go back on it until like I'm ready to go through it and either shred a bunch of stuff that I don't need, or it just gets stuck somewhere because we're holding it for one reason or another for like somebody else, or anything like that, or ads we just haven't gotten to thrown away yet, or anything like that. So do others mess up my system? Yes, they do. My husband happens to be one of those. Sometimes he does, and then when he does, I change it. He also gets really, I guess you could say, frustrated with the fact that I constantly change how I organize and everything, but it's just what I do. He knows that's what I do, so he basically just deals with it, and he likes my ideas most of the time just because they make everything easier and efficient. His problem and frustration with it all is that once he gets used to something, then I've gone through and decided to change it and switch it to something else. But he knew that that's what I do, and so yeah. Anything I won't do with organizing and cleaning. Haven't been something yet that I won't do, but that doesn't mean that there isn't one as far as organizing and cleaning goes. All right. Do I start more organization out the same way every time? No, I don't. I always switch up my organization, always change it. I never start it out the same every time. I always use different things when I organize, and I always go about it a different way, always do it at different times. Just because I have to be flexible, because I do have 2 young kids. I am a busy mom. I also work full time, so I can't necessarily stick to a particular schedule, and I don't really want to stick to a particular schedule when it comes to that, just because it's not who I am or what I do. Like, I like to change things up, and so that's just what I do. Do I ever not finish a project? No. I always finish a project. It may not necessarily be that day, but I always finish it. And yeah. Basically ends it for this 20 question and answer live video. So let me know what you think. If you have any other questions, feel free to comment. Let me know what those questions are regarding organization and cleaning tips, what you would like to know, so I can feature it in the next question and answer session. Thanks.